We started the ICON brand because I wanted a brand that was simply classic transportation design revisited in a modern context. So getting away from the archaic mechanical experience, but staying with the romance of the vintage aesthetic, but then infuse it with all the best engineering and state-of-the-art stuff to kind of transcend it from how you'd interface with a traditional classic. My favorite local haunt is the Santa Susana Pass. And it's a really cool road because it's actually an established trail going all the way back to Indian times and wagon trail times, and then before the freeway was built. The dynamics of the road as a driver are kind of interesting. It's challenging and fun and totally asinine all wrapped into one. So the pavement sucks. I think the last time they paved it was probably the 50s. So like ZR rated sticky tires just glide across the top of it. So if you push the performance envelope, it pushes back quickly. There's some gnarly off-camber turns, and there's some beautifully cambered turns. There's elevation changes, and then you come up over the edge, and then it's flanking the 118 freeway, one of the biggest freeways in California. So it's a study of yin and yang and contrasts and pros and cons and goods and bads. I love it. I was building my third or fourth 3100 pickup in my garage at home, and I was literally stuck under the bed trying to put in the wood slats. And a friend of mine was coming over with some of her friends for lunch, and I heard footsteps coming up my driveway. So I asked the first pair of legs that approached if they would help me out and pick up the bed so I could crawl my sorry ass out from under the truck. And I did so and introduced myself, and that turned out to be my now wife, Jamie. When we tackled this truck, for that initial sort of pencil paper list of all the elements I wanted to redesign, I kind of thought it'd be fun to sort of predate the truck and do more of a deco design theme with all of the trim that actually is an older design language than the truck itself, but it still works really well. So like we started the Thriftmaster font. I'm a big font geek. I love that font. So we designed an alphabet utilizing the font that GM used with Thriftmaster, and then converted that for, you know, the exterior emblems. We started to work with Isis Power and Kenwood on the electronics. We realized, oh, there's another cool opportunity. We could have no switches. So we could have this almost sort of conceptual interior in its vision of cleanliness and streamline. But like, it's the kind of thing you'd look at and go, yeah, that's really cool. And after you look at it 10 or 12 times, you go, oh yeah, but where's the headlight switch? And where's the wiper knob? Yeah, it looks good because they didn't really think it out. But with this electronic system, with this CAN bus network, it's all done through the head unit. So then it was like, that's a whole nother party, and we're like, oh, okay, well, in the head unit, so will Kenwood let us design the aesthetic of the interface screens on the head unit? Can we pick the colors? Can we pick the fonts? And like, on and on and on. So the dash was probably the hardest thing on the entire truck. The body, other than me kind of Frankensteining different vintage panels, they're all stock with no alterations, except for the tailgate. So the stock tailgates had like a cloth bag around a chain and a hasp, and they kick their own ass and ruin the paint. Drives me nuts. So we worked with a company to redesign the tailgate with hidden latches and stainless arms and all that stuff. But I wanted to brand it, and we acid etched the steel of the tailgate using a film technique. So it actually eats into the metal and gives the effect of the stamping, but it's way subtler. It's fully emissions compliant, and it's like decades out of needing to be. But the reality is it's quieter, more refined, less stinky, and just better across the board. So we integrated the great GM E-Rod 5.3 emission certified V8. So we got 440 horse responsibly. And then that goes to the GM 4L65V automatic. When you drive an Icon, there's a reconnect to the vehicle, and you get that feedback and the sense through the pedals, through your assometer, through the steering wheel, through everything. And also, I think the aesthetic is such that it's not going to be out of vogue in 5 years.